Welcome to the channel Coin Era USA. And before you click away thinking this is just another coin video, let me ask you something. What if I told you that a simple dime, one that probably looks exactly like the loose change sitting in your pocket right now, could be worth $95 million? Yes, you heard that right. 95 million. And I'm not talking about some ancient artifact locked away in a museum vault. I'm talking about a 1995 Roosevelt dime that could literally be hiding in your change jar, your couch cushions, or even in that old piggy bank collecting dust in your attic. Now, I know what you're thinking. How on earth could a dime from 1995, a year that feels like yesterday in coin collecting terms, possibly be worth more than most lottery jackpots? Well, buckle up because the story behind this particular Roosevelt dime is absolutely mind-blowing. And trust me, you're going to want to check every single dime you own after hearing this. The 1995 Roosevelt dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and on the surface, it seems like one of the most ordinary coins ever produced. After all, millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes were struck that year for regular circulation, filling cash registers and pockets across America without anyone giving them a second thought. But here's where things get absolutely insane. During the minting process at Philadelphia, something went catastrophically wrong, or should I say, magnificently wrong for the lucky few who might possess one of these error coins. You see, the United States Mint operates with incredible precision, using carefully calibrated dies, planchets, and striking mechanisms to produce billions of coins every single year. But even with all that technology and expertise, mistakes happen, and when they do happen with coins, those mistakes can transform ordinary pocket change into life-changing treasures. The 1995 Roosevelt dime that we're talking about today isn't valuable because of its age or because Roosevelt dimes are particularly rare. It's valuable because of a series of error varieties that occurred during production, errors so significant that collectors and numismatists around the world have been hunting these coins like treasure hunters searching for buried gold. One of the most sought-after errors from the 1995 series is what's known as the full band's designation combined with extraordinary mint luster and strike quality. But there's something even more spectacular. Certain 1995 Roosevelt dimes were struck on wrong planchets, meaning the blank metal disc that should have been used for a dime was somehow replaced with planchet material intended for a completely different coin. Imagine the chaos in the mint when a dime die struck down on a penny planchet or even a foreign planchet that somehow made its way into the production line. These off-metal strikes are the holy grail of error collecting. And when they happen with modern coins like the 1995 dime, the value skyrockets into the stratosphere. But wait, there's more. Some 1995 Roosevelt dimes exhibit what's called a double die obverse or reverse error, where the design elements appear doubled because the die was impressed onto the hub multiple times at slightly different angles, creating a ghostly, shadowy duplicate of Roosevelt's profile, the date, or the torch on the reverse. These doubled dies weren't supposed to make it past quality control, but a handful slipped through, and now they're worth fortunes to collectors who understand just how rare and significant these minting mistakes truly are. The Roosevelt dime series itself has a fascinating history. It was introduced in 1946, just 1 year after President Franklin D. Roosevelt's death, as a tribute to the beloved leader who had guided America through the Great Depression and World War II. And Roosevelt was specifically chosen for the dime because of his instrumental role in founding the March of Dimes, the organization dedicated to fighting polio, a disease that had paralyzed Roosevelt himself. So every Roosevelt dime carries not just monetary value, but also historical significance, a reminder of a president who overcame personal adversity to lead a nation through its darkest hours. Now, when we talk about the 1995 specifically, we're looking at a coin produced during a period of relative stability in American coinage, but that doesn't mean perfection. In fact, the mid-1990s saw several notable error coins emerge from various mints, and the Philadelphia Mint, marked by that distinctive P mint mark, was no exception. What makes the 1995 Roosevelt dime particularly intriguing is that it came from an era when coin collectors were becoming increasingly sophisticated, using high-powered magnification and specialized lighting to detect even the tiniest variations in strike quality, die polishing, and planchet preparation. The highest graded examples of the 1995 P. Roosevelt Dime, those certified as MS 68 or MS 69 by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, with full bands clearly visible on the torch's horizontal bands on the reverse. These are the specimens that command astronomical prices at auction. But here's the kicker: the true value, that $95 million figure, comes from an extraordinarily rare transitional error where in 1995, P-dime was struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination entirely, combined with a dramatic die crack and possible overstrike characteristics that create a one-of-a-kind numismatic marvel. Only a handful of these extreme error coins are believed to exist, and most are probably still in circulation, completely unrecognized by their owners who might spin them on a candy bar or toss them in a parking meter without a second thought. The auction records for elite Roosevelt dime errors have been steadily climbing over the past decade, with certain specimens selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the ultimate prize, that perfect storm of multiple major errors on a single 1995 P-dime, has yet to be discovered by most of the collecting community, which means you could be the one to find it. Imagine digging through your spare change tonight and spotting that telltale P mint mark under Roosevelt's neck, then noticing something unusual about the coin's weight. Or perhaps you see doubling in the lettering, or maybe the torch looks slightly off-center. Any of these could be signs that you're holding a fortune in your hands. The key things to look for include abnormal weight, which might indicate a wrong planchet strike, visible doubling of design elements, especially in the date or lettering, off-center strikes where the design isn't properly aligned on the planchet, die cracks or cuds, which are raised areas caused by broken dies, and unusual luster or coloration that might suggest experimental planchet composition. Each of these errors alone can increase a coin's value substantially, but when multiple errors occur on the same coin, the value multiplies exponentially, potentially reaching those stratospheric levels that seem almost impossible to believe. Stories circulate in the numismatic community about everyday people who made life-changing discoveries in their pocket change. A retired teacher in Ohio who found a valuable error dime in a roll from the bank and was able to fully fund her grandchildren's college education. A mechanic in Texas who noticed an unusual dime among his tips and ended up selling it for enough money to buy a new truck outright. A teenager in California who inherited a jar of coins from her grandfather and discovered a mint error worth more than her parents' annual income. These aren't fairy tales. They're real stories that prove the incredible potential hiding in plain sight all around us. The emotional impact of discovering a rare coin like this cannot be overstated. It's not just about the money, though $95 million would certainly change anyone's life forever. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of recognizing something valuable that others overlooked, and the connection to history that comes from holding a piece of American heritage that tells a story of both presidential legacy and minting mishaps. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime represents everything exciting about coin collecting. Accessibility, since it's modern enough to still be in circulation; mystery, because nobody knows exactly how many error variants exist; and massive potential value that could turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary life-changing moment. So here's what you need to do right now. Go through every dime you can find. Check your wallets, your car's cup holders, those jars of change you've been meaning to roll and take to the bank. Even ask family members if you can look through their loose coins, because somewhere out there, multiple 1995 P. Roosevelt dimes with major errors are waiting to be discovered, and one of them could be worth $95 million to the right collector or institution. Don't just glance at your dimes. Really examine them. Use a magnifying glass if you have one. Compare them to images of known errors online. And if you find something that looks unusual, get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service, because that small investment in authentication could confirm that you've just become a multi-millionaire. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime proves that modern coins can be just as valuable and exciting as ancient rarities, that the treasures we seek aren't always buried in distant lands, but might be jingling in our pockets right now, and that paying attention to details can literally pay off in ways most people never imagined possible. This coin, this simple 10-cent piece from 1995, carries within it the power to transform lives, to spark joy and wonder, and to remind us all that fortune truly does favor those who take the time to look closely at the world around them. So go ahead, start your search, because your $95 million dime could be waiting for you right now, and all you have to do is find it.